The tools we'll be using to do this are a 3/8 inch drive ratchet, a 13/16 inch deep socket, and a pick tool. I got that socket at Napa for $5 and it worked great. It fit over the old and new sensors perfectly. So here's a look up at the oil filter that we'll need to get out of the way. Go ahead and loosen that up and put some of your favorite fast food sacks under there to help collect any oil. And now you can see why we're going to need that hook. The connector is facing the opposite direction, at least on mine. And that little pick tool really made it easier to get at it from the back and get it loose. But once you have that off, you can go ahead and slip your socket over the sensor and start loosening it. Also a good idea to make a mental note of how far the sensor was screwed in from the factory so that you can try and replicate that same distance when you're putting the new one back in. And there we go. We've got the old one out. And we can go ahead and start threading that new one in. The new one that I got already had some Teflon tape on the threads, but if yours doesn't, definitely go ahead and put some on there. And now we're just gonna simply slip on the socket and start tightening this one down. As you can see, these are some really difficult angles to work in, some cramped spaces, but it is possible. It's definitely doable. The hardest part for me was just getting the electrical connector loose, and honestly, I think this is way easier than having to take off the air conditioner, compressor, the belts, and whatever other stuff people are saying that you have to remove, which just simply isn't the case. Alright, so we've pretty much got the new sensor tightened on there. You don't want to go too tight with it. I believe that it's 10 foot-pounds of torque for spec. But like I said, just try to make reference of where it was when you took off the old one and get it in about the same spot. And go ahead and clean off the connector and go ahead and clip it back on. Make sure it snaps in nice and secure. And there you go. Just go ahead and get that oil filter back on and you should be all set.